Wow. Well, it's been a minute. So I haven't been doing videos. I've been struggling a lot with my mental health. I ain't gonna get into all that crap. It's too much to get into. Make it short. As doctors would say, I'm agoraphobic with panic disorder, depression, severe anxiety, just a lot of like the mental illnesses. The doctors, they want to say that you have it, and then put you on this medicine, that medicine, this medicine, that medicine. And I don't do medicines. I haven't had no medicines in my body in over 20 years. I won't touch medicine. Everything with me is all natural. But recently, I have been struggling. I don't find joys in anything I do. I even took a trip to the beach, and it's like the whole time I was there, it wasn't my normal stress-free, relaxed, just laid back. I was on edge, walking on eggshells. I was stressed, and it's gotten to the point to where I'm physically feeling it. I'm not just emotionally going through this. I'm physically feeling it. I'm feeling the tension in my neck and in my head, and my joints hurt, my bones hurt, and I've let it take me over. I stopped doing things I love, and it's time. About 2 days ago, I realized it's time to get back on track. I preach to everybody that it's mind over matter, and for every negative, there's always a positive. But I fail to allow myself to let that sink in up here, and I allow my negative thoughts to take over. Instead of remaining positive for myself, I allow my negative thoughts to take over, and it gets the best of me. Because me being in my head isn't a good place to be. So I figured it's time to take control of my life back. I got some camping trips planned out. Matter of fact, I leave not this coming week, but the next. I'm taking my kids away for a week. I have 2 other beach trips. I'm going for 2 weeks in July and September. And it's time I take my life back, because the days are just rolling on along, and what am I doing day after day besides sitting there, allowing the negativity and allowing the crazy thoughts to just take over. So, and with me, I don't talk easily, but when I do talk, it makes me feel better. It kind of opens up a little bit, and it just relieves just a little bit of that. So, with me physically feeling it, I was having cravings. I was craving fruit. I was craving water. Everybody knows water doesn't have a taste, but for whatever reason, I was craving water. I wanted water. Fruit in the worst way. I was wanting fruit like you wouldn't believe. Like I was a homeless person begging for a cheeseburger or something. Like the cravings I'm having for fruit is just insane. They're intense cravings. So I figured, you know what? I'm gonna get back on track. I'm gonna try this. Here we go again. So, some would call it another spiritual awakening. Where in my mind, something in there clicked, and hey, let's do this. So that's what we're doing. I increased my water intake. There for a while, I was on coffee. I would have, instead of my normal 2 cups of coffee in the morning, I would have 3 or 4. Then I would have, a cup of tea or a bottle of soda, followed by another cup of tea or another bottle of soda, then 2 or 3 more cups of coffee, then it would be right back to tea and soda. So I increased my water intake. Water is so good for you. Water has many benefits. A lot of what we put into ourselves, like the processed foods and stuff, they're so bad for us, but come on now, keep it real. They taste good. I would so much rather have a greasy piece of pizza or a fatty burger than I would over a fresh, good for you meal. But recently I can't do that. I eat a greasy piece of pizza, or I eat McDonald's, or I eat Burger King, and I actually get sick in the stomach. So with that being said, I increased my water. I'm trying to eat healthier. And when I do start getting those negative thoughts, like, oh man, my ear hurts, or my head hurts, or my back hurts, I'm trying to replace that with something positive. I'm trying to ignore the fact that my ear hurts or my head hurts or my back hurts or my legs hurt or whatever it may be. I'm trying to ignore that. When I start feeling that and I start feeling in my head oh man, I'll get busy. I'll go outside and I'll do something outside. Mostly in my bare feet, because we all know that when we're in our bare feet, we're grounding, we're connecting with the earth. That is one of the most amazing things we can do, is connect with the earth. So I get out there in my bare feet and I just do whatever, whether it's just taking a walk or just chilling in my backyard, or the other day I mowed my yard in my bare feet. Like, simple stuff. It's all simple stuff. And it's not saying that you need to wake up in the morning and strip your socks off and go outside barefoot all day and all night. No, it only takes a couple minutes. Now, I prefer to be barefoot 90% of the day. Unless I'm actually going somewhere, I prefer to be barefoot. I like that feeling of being connected with nature. Take a walk, just touch a tree, or, you go to the park with your kids, sit with your back up against a tree, and just imagine yourself connecting with that. Imagine yourself rooting to that tree. Or imagine yourself rooting down into the earth, down into the fresh soil. It has so many benefits, and you will be surprised how much better you feel. I've also been on and off because, like I said, I allowed my mental health to take a drop. So I kind of been putting it off. But I've also been focusing on this book I got. I love to read. It's The Gifts Beneath Your Anxiety. This is what it looks like. And along the way of reading that book, it's teaching me a lot. It's teaching me that, a lot of the things that I'm feeling and a lot of the things that I'm going through, as doctors would call it, I'm agoraphobic, or I have panic disorder or anxiety, disorders. A lot of what I'm reading, it's teaching me that yes, I am feeling those things. I'm feeling the heart racing. I'm feeling that I can't catch my breath. I'm feeling, my legs are going numb. My arms are going numb. I'm tingly. I'm stuttering. I am feeling those things. But, however, it's not so much something that can be diagnosed and, put into words like that. This has to do with me being an empath, and I'm feeling others' emotions. So I'm out and about, or even, in my house, I have kids. So if one of my kids are in a bad mood, a super bad mood, and I go in the same room as them, or I'm even anywhere like in the house with them, I'm feeling their emotions. I'm feeling their anger. I'm feeling, their frustration. I'm feeling their fear. And it's overwhelming me because I need to learn how to process what I'm feeling for me, myself, and what I'm feeling as it's coming off of others. I need to learn to control that. And that's one thing that I'm working on now. I'm learning to work on, I'm feeling this, but this isn't my emotion. I need to let this go. Or, I could be in a grocery store and it's, wow, overwhelmed. If I walk into a grocery store, it is so hard. If I'm in there longer than a couple minutes, I break out into a sweat. My heart starts racing. I feel like I can't breathe. And I'm learning that that's not me. I'm feeling the emotions of all these other people all combined into one. And when you get it all combined into one, it's going to be craziness. It's going to be hectic because, her over there could be feeling anxious. He could be feeling angry. She could be feeling sad. She could be feeling overwhelmed. And when you put them all into one big ball, it's just a disaster. So, and with me feeling all of that, I'm learning to process that it's not so much just all me. It's things I'm feeling off of others, because I get others' energy massively. I could walk outside on my pool deck and there'd be 50 neighborhood kids, and if one of those kids is in like a bad mood, I instantly feel it. And I'm like, all right, let's turn on some music. Let's get this little ease out here, so it's not so much tension, so it's not so much feeling this stuff. But it's a really good book. So I suggest anybody who, struggles with anxiety or struggles with depression or, agoraphobic or whatever, your doctor wants to label it, just, pick up this book. It's a very good read. You'll learn a lot of stuff. And there's many other books out there too. I have a whole bookshelf, and I just keep buying and buying and buying before I even get done reading them, because I always have that next one to go to. my deck is my happy place. Water calms me. While there's water, it settles me down. So I like to, early in the morning before the kids are awake, I go out on my deck and I hear the water running from my pool pump. So I'm hearing the water, I'm seeing the water, I'm hearing the birds chirp. It's nice and quiet, it's nice and calm. Got my morning cup of coffee, because I still do my cups of coffee. I have 2 cups of coffee in the morning, and then I try for water the rest of the day. I pick up my book and I just go to it. Or, I sit out there and I can meditate. I can do so much things out there because that's my happy place. That's where I get calm. It soothes me. So I want you to find one spot, one spot you can go to and just have quietness. Whether it's a room in your house, a spot in your yard. Hell, there was times where I couldn't get no quietness in my house. I have a million kids. So I would have to go into my closet and shut my closet door just for 5 minutes so I could meditate. I want you to find your spot, find your happiness. I want you to go there and just enjoy the quietness. Let the quietness talk to you. Let it, open you up to what you hear, smell, see, and just see how that works for you. And I also want you to realize that not everything we feel is our own emotion. Not everything we feel is, as doctors would label it, we have issues. Yeah, we got issues. Ain't none of us normal. I wouldn't want to be normal. But being that I'm an empath, there's a lot of people out there who doesn't even know what that word means. Do your research. Look into it. I mean, you could be one as well. You could be feeling things of others and not even know it. Have you ever watched a movie and in the movie something happens and you break out in tears? Or have you ever watched a movie or read a book and you were that filled with anticipation and excitement, wanting to know what happened next? 9 times out of 10, if you can feel those emotions in a movie or feel those emotions in a book, 9 times out of 10, you're an empath. And I'm not going to get fully in the depth of what an empath is on this video, because that's not the purpose of this video. This video is, we're focusing on our mental health and ways spirituality and our mental health mix. That was the whole purpose of this video. I will do another video on being an empath. Maybe that'll be my next video. But for now, I just wanted to focus on the mental health. This really helps me. I'm not one to stand up in a crowd. I'm not one to walk up to somebody new and start a conversation. I'm not one to be, heard. But just these small videos I do, they help me tremendously, and I had given them up. I stopped doing videos. I stopped doing my card readings. I stopped reading my books. I stopped doing everything. Everything I loved. I used to love to go outside and just take pictures of nature. I stopped doing it. I used to love to just sit in my quiet spot and talk to my past loved ones that had passed away. I stopped doing it. And it's time that I get back on track. It's time that I focus on myself, because I always put others first. I think I'm going to stop for now, because I have some things I got to get into today, and I want to do a journal entry while I have this thought in my head. That's another way that can help tremendously. Journaling can help you so much, because when you open that notebook, that's your thoughts, your feelings. Write down everything. Write down, so-and-so pissed me off today, or I'm so tired of this, or I want to do that, but I'm too scared to. And just write it all down. Write down how you're feeling. Write down what you're thinking. And then, later down the road, weeks, months, years down the road, open that up and look how far you've grown. You've overcame that thing that you once had a fear of. Or you wanted to do this and you never had the courage to do it. Well, guess what? You did it. And now you can look back on that and be like, wow, why was I even feeling that way? It's a process that you got to commit to, because any little bit of time journaling helps. Any little bit of time in journaling, it can be an amazing thing. But when you write and then you go for days or weeks and then write again, you're not getting the full benefit out of it. This needs to be like a commitment, like a daily thing. I wake up in the morning and I do just a small journal entry, just a couple sentences of how I feel when I woke up. And then throughout the day, process your day, and then right before you go to bed at night, do another journal entry. It don't have to be paragraphs. It don't have to be pages. Do, just a couple sentences if that's what you have to start off with. And just how your day went, what you went through, what you felt during that day. And just go from there. I mean, each day you do it, and you don't even have to do it morning and night. I prefer to do it morning and night because I like to know how I felt when I woke up, what my emotions were, and then how my day went and how I'm ending my night. But you're going to come to realize the longer you do it and the more days you do it, the more you're going to up it, and the more you're going to be like, oh wow, I want to write this down. Or you're going to, at nighttime, you're going to, what used to be a couple sentences is now going to turn into maybe a whole page, maybe 2 pages, because you're getting more and more into it, and you're learning that maybe you don't express yourself to people. Maybe you don't have somebody to talk to. But now you have this piece of paper that you can write anything in the world. This piece of paper isn't going to judge you. This piece of paper isn't going to put you down. So you're learning that, wow, I can get all these emotions out and not feel them. Because there's so many people out here that they have a hectic day or they have a bad day and they go to lay down at night, and what happens? They toss and turn. They can't sleep. Their mind's all over the place. Their mind's racing. They just can't quiet their mind to be able to go to sleep. Well, now you're doing journaling. You're putting everything on a piece of paper. You're getting all those emotions out. So now when you put those on that piece of paper and in that journal, you're releasing them. You're no longer letting them trapped in your mind. You're releasing them. They're out of your mind. Now you can get a peaceful night's sleep. So I want you to just focus on journaling and the positive thinking. If your mind becomes negative at all, I want you to try to turn that negative into a positive. So if you're feeling a certain way, or you're going through something that you're like, damn, how am I going to get through this? Or damn, why is this happening to me? Turn it into a positive. Well, maybe I needed this to happen to me. Or maybe I needed to go through this to learn that. You know what I'm saying? Like, focus on turning every negative into a positive some way, somehow. And also, journaling. Just a few sentences a day, and see how much better off that's going to make you feel.